Okay, so I need to preface this one by saying that I just had some dental work done and I'm half numbed up right now. So I'm going to be slurring a lot of my speech today. I promise I'm not any drunker than normal. 5,130 pounds, the Grey Wolf 25RR here at Haylet RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is an interesting offset and sister to the already existing and very popular 26RR. The only difference really is that this one has a private walk-around bathroom and the 26RR has a walk-through middle bathroom. That does mean that this RV is slightly longer, heavier, but essentially, they're the same RV with just a different bathroom, so you get to really kind of pick your poison. And once again, I do thank you for tolerating a little bit of my mushmouth speech today. To start us off, I wanted to showcase the, split tent screen wall that you have here. It's something we like to add to these. It is an option on these Grey Wolves, but it allows you to turn your RV into something of like a rolling 3 seasons room. So if you're off grid, you want to get that fresh air, but you don't want the bugs, you got the perfect way to accomplish that. Like its sister, the 26RR, you've got a full 8-foot wide, like, mega dinette back here. This is a 6 adult seating area. And that's what's kind of cool. It's like if it's just the 2 of you, maybe you only need to leave or fold the 1 bench down. You don't necessarily have to do both. And you get this handy free floating table right here. Now what you'll find is whether it's this table, any of the countertops, whether it's kitchen or bathroom, it's a sealed edge pressed membrane material. So if you happen to leave that outside, if it gets a little bit wet, no big deal. It's not going to, it doesn't have an exposed seam where the core of it could soak up a lot of water. So, if it's just the 2 of you, like I said, maybe you only need the 1 bench. I would probably use this bench, and I would look out over here on these big campsite windows. And this is one of the other few variances between this 25RR and the 26RR Grey Wolf, is that it gives you not 1 but 2 of these big campsite picture windows because they were able to move the awning a little bit. Now all those windows have pleated shades for privacy, and that's what's kind of cool is this is built and appointed just like a regular Grey Wolf RV. It just has a little bit more flexibility. Now that big 6-person dinette can also fold down into an easy 2-person sleeper, and that's kind of the cool thing. Like when a lot of dinettes fold down, you can't really, like sleep an adult on them. Some of the true U dinettes, the 7-foot dinettes, sure. But this is a 2 adult sleeper. You're wide enough and you're certainly long enough to be able to fit a couple big people there. Or, obviously you could just put 1 person there. Now, you don't necessarily need to fold both of these down. What you could do is you could use the seat cushion and just 1 of the benches and blop 1 grandkid, blop 1 grandkid. There you go. You don't have to necessarily, wrestle the table down into the sleeper like this. This is just kind of a way that you could accommodate adults instead of just kids. But of course, at some point, being that this is, I call it a crossover, but I guess technically a toy hauler, you're going to want to know what you can load into it. So I busted out the tape measure, did some measuring for you. From the start of the floor up to this kitchen countertop here, it is 7 foot and just a titch past 7 foot basically. Now from that entertainment wall back to the start of the garage, it's actually 14 feet 7 inches. But what's really kind of cool on this one is because it has this private bath hallway, you're picking up an extra 5 feet of potential space here before you get to the bedroom door. Now theoretically you could leave the door open or secure it like I have here. And the reason I mention that is you could very easily use this corridor, I guess, for things like kayaks and whatnot. And that's what's kind of cool about these Grey Wolves. They don't necessarily have to be used for like 4-wheelers and dirt bikes and Harleys. And that stuff's fun. But there's some people who's like, man, I just want to bring along a bicycle and a kayak, but I don't want to get a giant 5th-wheel toy hauler. By the way, there is 5 feet almost on the nose between the base of that cabinet over here to the base of that wheel well. That's actually the wheels stick up above the floor a little bit because this RV rides so low to the ground. Now the whole floor is just peppered with 2,500 pound rated recessed D-rings. What's kind of nice about that is there's enough of them that if you have 2 things you're loading, you're probably never going to need to fight for like tie downs. So I already mentioned the big campsite windows, but we haven't really looked at the entertainment center or anything like that. This is one of the areas, again, as we start to come into the main body of the RV, where the bathroom starts to come into play, how things vary from the 26RR. If you choose to add a TV to one of these, you see that quick release bracket right there. It does include the little insert that you just screw to the back of the TV. What's also cool is you'll find a matching receptacle like this outside of the RV. So if you really want to, you could have indoor-outdoor entertainment, all kinds of fun stuff. And they did something really smart down here. I like how they kind of dress this up, because it gives it like a normal entertainment center kind of look, even though it's recessed into the wall. Now, what's kind of cool is they utilize the space behind the TV mount intelligently in the bathroom, but we'll see that in a minute. Down here on the right, this little black box is a streaming-friendly stereo. It's Bluetooth. You can actually place hands-free calls through it if you're so inclined. It does have its own little microphone. But it also has HDMI and USB powered plugs. So if you got a little Roku or Amazon Fire Stick, you can throw it in there. Plus, they gave you this nice pocket right here so that if you have different electronics that you want to plug in, like a Blu-ray player, you can. A little bit of storage below, and I'm a sucker for any time they give me an entry area shoe garage. I think that is one of the most underrated and best features you can get into an RV. And when we get over here to the kitchen, you'll see that this is very, very similar to its sister, the 26RR. Up top, we have that kitchen skylight that just lets in a flood of extra natural lighting, but it does have a shade you can pull shut to make sure you're not feeling like an ant under a magnifying glass on a hot Florida day, for example. You'll notice, too, that all these gray wolves have centralized air, so it does cool evenly, which is really important in this model, when you have walls that separate the bathroom and the bedroom up there. And they are, it's a smaller kitchen, but they give you some big cabinet space. And don't forget that you've also got these cabinets overhead the driver's side above bench area. They also load this kitchen up with a ton of lighting, so when it is prep time, you can really see what you're doing. We talked about those sealed edge countertops, but one of the things that they do a good job of hiding, unfortunately, is this big, beautiful, skirted stainless farm sink right here. And I've popped that sink cover off just so that you could get a nice, good look at that. It's big, it's deep, you can actually clean big pots and pans in it. Great space down here for things like a wastebasket or your, extra soaps and items of that variety. And plywood drawers. Notice, too, that they're using a pair of bigger drawers as opposed to 2 or 3 small drawers. I don't think that one's necessarily better than the other, but I know that there's been so many times in my life where like a big spatula has prevented a drawer from opening, and you really shouldn't have that happen here. Another kind of cool note, all of our main cabin lights are on one switch, but you can still individually control every one of those lights. Moving up here to the bathroom, it's right by the entry door, and it's a dual entry bathroom, so you have privacy coming from the bedroom. You also have privacy here in the hallway, but this is where this model is very different from the 26RR. 26RR has a walk-through private bathroom, whereas this one has a walk-around private bath. Walk-around private bathrooms do require some extra length on the camper, but we're only talking a few inches in this instance. They did a very good job of minimizing the variance. You can see these also come with the bigger vent fan up here, and that is exactly why these doors are slotted, because heat rises. Well, in your private bedroom up front, you've got a couple cross breeze windows, but all of the heat from you breathing and existing is going to rise up, and this fan can suck all of that out and recycle in with cooler air from the windows, or just simply exhaust it, however. Large medicine cabinet and large sink. These are adult-friendly, big features with plenty of legroom for large people like me. We also have a larger radius shower instead of a common travel trailer tub to give us some extra elbow room. And notice how they run that shower surround paneling all the way up to the ceiling right there. Now remember how I said behind the TV they did something really smart in the bathroom? They gave us good, dedicated linen space. And this is something that both the 25 and 26RR Grey Wolves here at Haylett RV accomplish very nicely, effectively. And you might notice how this window right here, it doesn't open for airflow. It wouldn't do you any good really if it did, because there's nothing opposing it to really provide great airflow effectively. Coming up here into our private bedroom, what I like about this, it's small, but it's fully featured. You can get under the bed for storage. Both sides of the bed have household USB, or household and USB plugs rather. Across from the bed you have another, so 3 of these matching little, quick slip release kind of TV mounts, and a full overhead cabinet, not just a little shelf. Mirrored closets, you have side stands for your CPAP machines and all that kind of good stuff, and dual cross breeze windows in this model. They've done a very good job of just nailing everything that's really important in a minimal amount of length to maintain that half-ton towability. These 25-26RRs, they come in at a real sweet spot, dang it, that it's perfect for half-ton towable kind of stuff. When you start getting into a bigger full-body RV versus a crossover like this, a full-body toy hauler that is, things start to very quickly get very big, very heavy, very bossy on a vehicle, whereas something with a traditional standard body size and reduced weight as a result is much easier for SUVs like the big tow package SUVs and half-ton pickups. So, you know, we're 8 wide, we're not 100-inch wide, we're not 102 wide. We're a standard 6.5 interior height, we're not like 9-foot interiors or whatever some of these toy haulers are. But it still accomplishes all the main goals. And what I like about this one is how once the toys are unloaded, it just became a nice little couples camper. Now, up front, we've got an extra thick aluminum nose sweep, and it's all painted. And if you notice, there are almost no decals used on the exterior of these Grey Wolves. So there's virtually nothing over time that will peel, fade, sorry. And basically, this thing's going to continue to look good over time. Grey Wolves also ride on a little bit different chassis. It is an LCI frame, but it's a custom engineered chassis, and one of the ways that you can see that is up here on the tongue. You see how the A-frame integrates right into the body of the chassis. That is part of the reason it has a normal RV interior height, but it has a reduced exterior height and a little bit lower center of gravity. Things like power awning, power tongue jacks, I swear those are about a dime a dozen, and I'm not sure of anyone that's building something like this that doesn't have those features. But I do want to just mention real quick that yes, of course, this does have one. Where Grey Wolf separates itself from me are these little devils in the details kind of things, like the way that they have their whole hookup center here kind of centralized. They also have this really nice bright courtesy light so that if you need to access any of this stuff in the evening hours or in the morning or whenever, you get the idea, there's a separate switch that will activate this so you can see what you're doing, got your black flush, your outside shower, your sewer hookups, and then you can turn it off separately so that you're not blowing the neighbors away. The mag wheels are something that they do on these that gives it an absolutely fantastic sort of look. And a neat thing they do here that's easy to miss is your entire Cherokee family has tire pressure indicators on their valve stems, their caps right here. Not like a fancy system necessarily, but does something have to be fancy to work very well? I don't believe it does. What that can do is, at a glance, you can see if your tires have the proper inflation, because if that thing flips from green to red, you know, you need to put air in the tires, and improper tire inflation is the largest cause of flats on the road. Now, they know that the outside storage on this is, well, any RV outside storage is really a premium thing, but especially on a model like this, it doesn't have the world's greatest amount of outside storage. So they give you a little black tank sewer hose caddy there to be able to keep your black tank stuff away from the rest of your dry cargo, freshwater stuff, etc. Before I drop this gate down and we take a look at that optional patio party deck, I want to take a look at these guys. These, you know, positive reinforcing kind of self-latches here. So, first of all, it has a lock. You can key, lock, and keep your garage secure. You don't necessarily have to just rely on padlocks. Secondly, you see how it grabs itself. Well, you have to really, really jackhammer that thing to get it to pop open. So it kind of requires a person to manually latch it. Even if you forget to lock this, it's really, really hard for that to try to pop open going down the road. So, up top there, we have the backup camera prep. And, of course, as mentioned, we have that super fun, super popular optional patio party deck system. So this is an optional piece of equipment, and it's something that as soon as they started offering it, I just couldn't imagine it not being on here. It expands the living space in this camper and gives you that ability, like, especially if it's kind of wet in the morning or it rained previously, you can come out here and kind of sit in a little patio chair and kind of be up off the wet grass and all that stuff. It sets up quick and easy, and because this is a smaller body camper, the ramp is not as long and it's really not heavy to lift up and down. It's kind of one of those things that you need to play with it like personally to kind of experience it and get an idea, but come on out to Haylett RV and try this thing on like a pair of pants, you know, see how it fits, and we'll let you mess around with it. Now, they did, one of the other variances here from the 26RR that I kind of mentioned earlier are these big windows over here on the door side of the RV. They give you amazing views of your destination, huge, massive cross breeze over your seating areas. And the addition of the little pet leash latch down here gives you the perfect place to keep your little four-legged furry friends so that they don't go running off trying to sniff things or get scared by a sound they're not used to at a new campsite. We are all set for outside entertainment. You've got outside TV hookup should you choose to add a TV to the RV. And actually it includes a quick slip release mount so that if you have one TV inside, you can float it out here quick and easy. The entry door is anti-slam. That, in conjunction with the bigger handle and these adjustable MORryde stable steps, means it's easy come, easy go in this RV. And these things will help keep the whole camper from rocking and rolling around as people come and go. Up front here next to our storage compartment, right down below, you see that thing sticking out with that flag kind of hanging there. That is an outside gas grill quick connect. So if you want to do some cooking outside, keep the heat from getting inside, you can. You can use this under your advantage, though. If you bring along a little portable solar panel, you've got that handy prep plug up here between the marker light and the baggage door, and you have the perfect place to keep it right here. So once again, I do apologize for my lack of foresight and planning that I'm trying to do this with half a numb tongue. I appreciate you trying to just sort of seeing through it and being a champ and playing along here. Hopefully later this afternoon, if we have something else coming in, the medicine will have worn off by then. I'm starting to get some tingles in my tongue, so I'm hopeful. So, whether you need hitching pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything in between, this is super hard to say. We do everything except for hidden dealer fees. We don't do those at Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.